Hello, Kizomba enthusiasts, and welcome back to another episode of Kizomba Conversations. As always, I'm your host, Victor, and today we're joined by another amazing guest. Now, this person is an amazing dancer, an amazing teacher. She makes Kizomba look so effortless. Please help me welcoming the wonderful, the amazing Miss Manon Batrel. Manon, hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me today.
A pleasure. The pleasure is ours, and we just want to welcome you to the show, and we're so happy that you are joining us today.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. I'm so happy to be here, to be honest. That's so good.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
No, absolutely. We're looking forward to talking all things Kizomba with you, Manon, because we know that you are an amazing dancer. I've had the pleasure of dancing with you on a number of occasions, and like I said, you make it look effortless, and you kind of make me look good as a good dancer. But yeah.
Try my best, always.
Try that. So what we're going to do, as always, is we're going to kind of get into your story, and then we're going to just talk about Kizomba, how you got into it, why you love it, all those kind of things, yeah?
Sure.
Fantastic. And we always want to start with our guests in terms of where they originated, you know, because we want to find out a bit about you because, you know, we see you on the dance floor here in London mainly, all right? We see you on the dance floor, but we don't necessarily know you, yeah? And this is a great opportunity for some of the people that you teach that come to your events to kind of get a little bit of an insight into who you are as well. So I just want to start out by just finding out a bit about you. Who is Manon? Not even necessarily in Kizomba, but just, you know, who is Manon? What can you tell us?
Right. No, you made an important point, you know. Kizomba as an umbrella, as we can mention, is a social dance, and we don't really have time to get to know people around. So it's very important to take the time.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. So my name is Manon Batrel. Good luck pronouncing that. I am from France. I have been living in the UK for now 7 years, actually, just a little bit more than 7 years. I grew up in the countryside, actually, and I learned to dance Kizomba in a city called Brest.
Yes.
I am now having my own Kizomba school in London. I have also a life outside of dance, which is currently I'm studying. I'm in a business school in London. I'm graduating this year, actually. So I have a lot of things to do, always running, always things to do, and always on the go. Full life. I'm someone quite active, quite happy in general, but also in general quite introvert when I don't know people, and this is why maybe sometimes it can seem difficult for people to approach and ask questions and get to know me a little bit deeper, because I'm I'm very relaxed and calm when it gets to Kizomba parties and social in general. So briefly, that's who I am.
Briefly. Well, that's great. That's amazing. And you mentioned, it's interesting because you mentioned introvert. So again, a lot of people would see you and then wouldn't necessarily think that, correct?
Yes. And I've had this conversation with some friends recently, actually. In fact, the thing is that growing up, so I grew up with siblings and, you know, children around and everything. But I was always the kind of child to be alone, and this is just who I am. I like to be alone. I like to be in my thoughts, and you know, I'm also quite a creative person, so I feel like I need to reflect a lot and think a lot, and yeah. I use my own energy. I don't like to use other people's energy around me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that makes sense in English, but hopefully yes. So yes, when I actually became, so I've always been like that. In fact, my whole life. When I became or started to become a dance teacher, a Kizomba dance teacher, I had to learn this. You know, greeting students, greeting people, talking to them, asking them certain questions. I had to learn to switch when in that dance environment, in that setting. I had to almost like, wear that mask of this is who I am, this is my job, and I have to be different. And this is why, when I go home, when I'm done teaching, or being in a party or a festival, or whatever, I'm extremely drained. I really need to be alone, not talk to people. This is why I struggle also to answer the messages or the call, because I feel really like, I need to be alone to regenerate. Um, so yes, this is why a lot of people don't know that, because I want people to feel good. I want people to feel welcome, and this is just part of the job. So yeah, I had to learn that.
Yeah, well, people definitely feel welcome when they see you when they
Thank
come to
you.
your events. But I wanted to ask, so how was that then, learning that? Because obviously that takes, if you're an introvert, it takes up a lot of your energy. So when you were doing that, obviously, you do it well now and that's completely fine. But in that journey, when you were learning, was it quite challenging to be, meeting people and greeting people and saying, this is what I've got to do now as a job?
Yeah, it was very hard actually, because not only I had to learn that, but that's also the period where I had to learn to speak English as well.
Okay, doubly hard.
And I
Okay.
also had to learn to live in this country at that period. I also had to integrate myself in this country, the culture, the habits, opening, bank accounts, all the administration that comes. So it was very overwhelming for me. You know, if I wasn't teaching, I was in bed by 8 p.m. because I was exhausted.
Wow.
It was challenging, but in the same time, I'm someone that also likes to grow, and I see every changes as a positive one, and therefore I know who I am. Also, this is something very important: is that I don't have identity problem, so I know why I do things,
Yes.
and this is very important for me to stay grounded and to be able to separate things. So I'm very aware of that. So it was challenging and tiring and everything, but it was worth it. And to be honest, I felt really also welcomed by the London community at that time. They understood that my English wasn't very good at that point, and they understood that I was different, but that I was also here to teach them and give my best. So I felt really welcome and supported by everybody, and this made a massive difference to me.
Fantastic, and that's great to hear that you were welcomed and you got that support. Because you're doing some great work now, obviously down the line. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So thank you again for sharing us a bit about your personal life and your growing up and who you are as well. Then, if we think about then Kizomba, then what's your earliest memory of Kizomba? So, in other words, where did you pick that up, if that makes sense?
Well, that's God, that's an interesting story, to be honest. I have like few memories. I actually started my Kizomba journey, or at least what I thought was Kizomba then, when I was 14.
Okay.
So in France,
Young.
let me rewind.
Yes. It's okay.
So I was dancing from very young age because actually, as I said, I grew up in the countryside, and I grew up very close to my big brother, who was only a few months older than me. And, I was like a boy, I was like playing in fields and in the mud and everything.
So you're a tomboy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
I got to like 6, 7 years old, and my mom was like, I want a daughter, like, I'm tired of this boy. And it's just who I am, I like to be in nature, and that's always been like this, I'm happy climbing tree and spend my whole afternoon reading a book in the field, it's like, this is normal for me. But yeah, my mom was like, I want a girl, so I'm gonna, sign you up for ballet and blah blah blah. And I was, oh God. So anyway, here it goes. I start doing ballet and everything, and I find it horrendous, like really bad. It was boring, slow. I didn't really like it, and you carry on because that's what children do, And also, I was the kind of child that I couldn't tell no to my parents. I was very, as I said, I was introvert. I wasn't talking a lot. So these are all feelings that I kept inside for a long time. And then when I turned 10, actually, I started to have more interest in other dances, maybe gymnastics, sports. So I ended up doing like 25 hours of sports per week, and doing other dances. So I started to do also African dances.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing like coupé décalé and from Ivory Coast, and dombolo also a little bit. So I was like part of a group that was doing these dances. And I really enjoyed it because of the music.
Yes.
And for me, that was a trigger, because I realized then that the dance was something great for me, that I really liked actually dance, but not because of just the dance, because I could express what I felt about the music. And this was very important to me. And dombolo for me is beautiful music, but dance also. Congolese people have amazing singing and amazing dances, and like it's mind blowing when you. I don't know if you saw their video, in church, for example.
No.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I found this so inspiring, how they all come together, bands, singers, and it was really attracting for me. So that was great. And then the other side of it was, for me, where it started was, how France we have Zouk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Zouk. Yes.
So Zouk, whether you're from Caribbean or not or whatever, everyone in France knows about Zouk. In fact, any clubs you go to, even if it's like R&B and techno club or whatever, at some point there will be Zouk.
Yes.
And Afro music, like for sure. There is no avoiding it, So anyway, I was with my sister, because my sister had to look after me a lot after my parents' divorce. So she was like having to look after me. And my mom was working night shifts. So she wasn't home at night. Yes. And my sister was like, how old she was? 18, something like that, 17, 18. So she was like, I want to go out to club with my friends. And I was like, no, you have to look after me. She was like, come with me. And I was like, okay. So anyway, I would go with her, and she would bring me to like loads of random places. I'm not gonna lie, good memories. But yeah, there was these times where she would bring me to those Zouk parties, and there it's very similar to what you will find in Palop parties. It's like people stay in groups, like they come with their friends and they stay together.
Yes.
And they know each other. Like everyone kind of know each other in the club, but nobody really goes mixing with other people. And it's extremely similar culture. In fact, shockingly similar. It's like if you're coming to dance with like the girlfriend or the boyfriend of someone else, that things can go wrong.
Yes.
Easily. Anyway, for me, it wasn't really it wasn't that experience, but I could see that I wasn't drinking or anything. I was a really calm girl. So again, for me, it was the music that I really liked, and it was really attractive. All the instruments I could hear, I downloaded all these musics on my iPod and everything. I was listening a lot. And then one day, I'm in a Zouk party and I hear Kabolov. Yeah, like Kabolov music. And I'm like, gosh, this is so nice. This is so mellow and everything, but it's not French Creole. What language is this? And then someone, like, I asked, said, oh, yeah, it's like Cape Verdean Creole, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, I go home. YouTube. Go on YouTube. So I start doing research, And you know how back then, like, even still now, you click on one video on YouTube and it brings you to something else. And then it's been 5 hours, you're there already, So anyway, I find this Cabo Love Zouk musics and everything. I start downloading all of them one by one. And then I find that video of Sarah Lopez and Albir.
Okay. Yes.
Everyone saw that one. So I look at it and I'm like, so I think it was the music that I was interested in, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, never mind the dance. What's this music? And that was more like ghetto zouk music. I think it was like Now Metoka or something like this, the track. So that was more like kind of ghetto zouk music. So then, anyway, I find Kizomba music and I'm like, wow, I'm mind blown. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is awesome, because before I was dancing solo, like, you know, African dance and stuff, you dance solo or you have maybe a group around you, but there's no connection like Kizomba has. And I'm like now discovering a music that I'm falling in love with, but that you actually have to now learn to dance with someone. And that was like the trigger for me. So I looked for classes in my city, in Brittany. I found some by my amazing teacher, actually, Merville Kiavu. And my mom said no.
Okay. Yes.
She said, no, you have school, blah, blah, blah. You can't go. It's too late during the week.
Did you show her the dance?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But you know, I came with the papers, like, this is how much you need to pay.
Okay.
This is the days they give classes, whatever. She said no.
Okay.
So I was like, damn it. So from there, I explained to Merville, and he was really supportive. You know, he was giving me classes like during the week, during the day, like Wednesday afternoons, whatever. Was really trying to find a way around the schedule. And then eventually I was able to go to his Friday socials. So I had to learn like this, you know, but, you know, I was listening to music all the time. I was like obsessed, like that was my life. That's it. I was into it, and it was really good, actually. That's how it started for me.
How it started. So basically, Sarah Lopez, in some kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, I think back then there was very few videos available on YouTube. Let's be honest. And I respect Sarah Lopez. I you know, like, I don't actually know her personally. Like, she's not my friend and everything. I respect her, but she wasn't the kind of artist that I was inspiring to look like. It just happened that the music that was on her video led me to discover down the line Kizomba music, because I went from Kabolov to Ghetto Zouk, and then as you do the music research, that's how you discover about it. Because you know, in like where I was, there was no Angolans, there was no Kizomba as it was. You know, we had Kizomba in SBK parties. You know, so we had like to wait 30 minutes for one track, and it wasn't even Kizomba. It was like some Anselmo Raf track or something like that. So it was, it's just there was not much availability on YouTube, you know.
But it's just that, you know, like you say, you heard the music, it hit you, and it just took you over, right? And it happens to so many of us, okay?
Yeah.
So many of us. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So it kind of leads into my next question, because, well, you probably answered it, but let me see if I can maybe put it in a different way. But
sure.
I know that you love dancing.
Yes, I'm gonna dance if the music is good in my taste. So I like any dance that is danced onto music that is played by a band.
Okay.
To be clear.
Yeah.
So, for example, salsa.
Yes. As well as doing that. Yeah.
Although I did spend 2 weeks in Cuba, and I was like fed up after a few weeks. But just because I didn't fall in love with salsa, I really like salsa because of the music and the bands and everything and the instruments, and it is a beautiful dance. But for me, what attracts me as a dancer is if there is a band. If it's for me, that's what music is. Yeah, it's played by instruments, not computer made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real music.
Yeah, that's that's just my feeling. Yeah. No disrespect to anyone.
No, that's totally fine. So, out of the other styles that you dance, where would you rate Kizomba? Is it your main passion, your main love, or is it something else that you like more?
Kizomba and Samba, yeah.
Kizomba and Samba.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. For me, to be honest, I've never made like a list like top 1, top 2. But right now I would probably say first Kizomba, then Samba, then Zouk. But like not Zouk like Zouk love, but like Zouk, proper Zouk music. Then probably salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like all music. It really depends. There are some music that will stimulate me, some that will not. So it really depends of my mood,
Yeah.
how we feel. Yeah,
But I'm happy that Kizomba is on top of your
of
list
course.
there. Absolutely. Okay. Cool. Well, let's talk about you and your teaching then. All right, let's move on to that. So you're an amazing dancer.
Thank you.
We can see you on YouTube dancing, various different people, see some of your moves that you do. But I think you've mentioned it already. But where was your first Kizomba lesson? Where did you have that? And how was it for you?
That's a tough question because I have to be honest. Um, it was so long time ago that I would say I'm not quite sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I don't really remember exactly how my own teacher danced then. I don't. When you're a beginner and you're starting to dance, you're so overwhelmed by so many things. There are. I think the first time that I saw what really Kizomba was probably when I was like 16.
Mhm.
Was in France actually. No, I think it must have been one of Fabricio's class
Mhm.
in France. Yeah,
Mhm.
he must have done, maybe it was a Samba class or something.
Okay, so you were in
Back
that.
when
You
he
were
taught
taking
with
that.
Sabrina. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
I
how
would
was it for you?
say maybe before, but yeah.
How was it for you in terms of the class and how it went? How was it? You don't remember?
So because before I was more used to, slower songs, maybe Get a Zouk and everything, because I was really trying to learn the dance. Although at home I was listening to proper music. When you go to socials, you're not the DJ, right? So you have to adapt to what you're listening to. For me, my first samba song that I danced socially felt like a marathon.
Okay.
I was like racing for my life, literally. But it felt awesome. For me, it felt really awesome. I felt like, I don't know, I really felt that passion
Yeah.
very early on. And this is why I worked really hard for it. And I tried to study and understand every aspect of it as much as I could at that time.
Yeah. No, that's really good. So you mentioned it felt like a marathon. What was that? Is that the person that was dancing with you? What the length of the song, or what was going on there?
Because some things that people don't really know is that back then in France, you would have SBK festivals. So Kizomba would be in salsa bachata events.
Okay.
So we would have a Kizomba room within that event. Yeah, we didn't have Kizomba events really as themselves because the scene was so small. It was new. There wasn't even that many teachers, to be honest. I mean, most festivals then had teachers coming from overseas. So it was a bit tricky. And of course, the zouk culture is so strong in France that most music that we would actually dance onto will be more slower pace. And then somehow the samba tracks that they would put will be like the proper samba show ones. There is a lot of different kind of samba music, but they chose to use the fast one only.
Okay, I see. Okay.
For some reason. So it was always like the ones that you will do all the jaja, all the tricks and everything. It was always like that.
Right.
So that was the moment for the teachers and everyone to kind of show off their moves and everything. And it was honestly like overwhelming and exhausting.
Okay.
That's my experience. Yeah.
Okay, but you got through it.
I survived. I survived, yes.
Okay. And then, if we're talking about your teaching, when was the moment that you realized that you wanted to become a teacher?
This is the question I like to answer to. I never wanted to be a teacher.
People say that all the time. I get it all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want this.
I was forced.
You were
No, I'm
forced.
kidding. So, kind of.
Okay, well, talk to us. Tell us.
So I wanted to be a police officer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was aspiring to be. From very young age, in fact, and I thought so. I was, I was a student in France, and I also had a student job. So I was not the kind of girl to party and to, for me, Kizomba was a hobby.
Yeah.
It was just a hobby. I just had the really strong passion for it, and I was also good at it. Maybe because of my background in dance. I don't really know actually, but I picked up quite fast. And yeah, for me it was just a passion. It was just like on the side. I had my whole life planned. I'm gonna be a police officer. I'm gonna get married, buy a car and a house, have 3 kids and a dog. Like all this kind of stuff that you think when you're young. And then I came to the UK to learn English. I came here as an au pair actually. And you don't know anybody, you're trying to think, okay, how can I make friends or whatever, and I have this hobby, so okay, let me look for Kizomba here, right? So I look for it, and the shock, at that time when I came, although all my now colleagues have been working so hard in the UK scene, it was nothing compared to the size of Kizomba in France. And I know that Kizomba in France is not really, really Kizomba now more than ever. But if we use that term, there was honestly, it wasn't comparable at all.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a bit of a shock. And then the level, I'm not sure if I was going to the right places either, but I felt like the level also was a lot lower in general, because at that time, even though like there was a lot of urban kids in France, the at that time the root of every dancer, even the urban kids one, was Kizomba. Like they first danced for many years Kizomba before shifting to urban kids.
Okay.
At that time. It's not accurate anymore now, but then when I started, it was like that. So yeah, for me it was like a big shock. And then very quickly I was asked to start teaching. And I was like, I don't speak English. So, and I don't teach. I don't know how to teach. I don't know. No clue. No clue. So I had to learn. I had to learn. And I thought this would be good for me, actually. I accepted to do it because I thought, I'm not going to stay here a very long time. Maybe this will help me learn English. Maybe this will help me make friends. So I never had the ambition. I mean, I never thought I would go anywhere. I just thought this is good to keep busy, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then as you jump into the teaching world then, are there, so we have many different teachers, don't we? There's lots of different teachers around, but is there anybody that kind of you look up to that inspires you in the teaching world potentially, or anybody that you can say, yeah, I like to learn from them, or I did learn from them, or that kind of thing?
From a teaching perspective?
Yes.
From a teaching perspective.
Teaching.
I get inspired by everybody.
Okay.
In my opinion, so there is a side of me that's like learned by like watching people teaching, like, okay, that's a good way of explaining this or whatever. But I'm never like doing it like them.
Yes.
I just find this inspiring how other teachers' mind can work, And there is another side of me that's like learned through experience. So, for example, there are some students that like to be shouted out, like, that they don't like. They're like, yeah, shout at me. I'm doing better like this. And it's true, and you give them the same love, but it's just tougher love. And some of them, you need to really be slow, explain to them. Some of them, they just need to see you. Some of them, you need to, make noise. Some of them, you need to count. Some of them, they just stay quiet. You don't even hear them, but they're going to be the ones able to, through, it's just through experience. And sometimes, I would explain something and they will look at me like, huh? So, you learn over time.
Yeah.
The one important thing is whether you are doing it correctly yourself. The explanation, there's always ways to adjust the way you explain things, as long as you are doing it correctly yourself.
Yeah.
That's
really interesting as well. And obviously you have to adapt to different personalities and different styles, and some people like to be shouted at and some people, that's really interesting to find out. Yeah Cool.
The things we go through.
Yes. So Kizomba brings us joy. Okay, spreading the joy of Kizomba to as many people as we can reach. All right. So Kizomba brings us joy. But in terms of fulfillment, what is it that you find most fulfilling about teaching Kizomba?
So for me, first it was I wanted to have people to dance with,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I've evolved more and I've developed that passion for it, what I find amazing is how people just come from the street, brand new beginner, no idea of anything, and they learn to dance, they learn to listen to music, they dance well, they are happier, they are confident, they are grateful, they made friends, people come to dance for many different reasons, and this is something we mustn't forget. And one of the most fulfilling things for me is to help people feel better about themselves, whatever situation they go through. If I can make them feel better and help them be better dancers as well, that's such an amazing feeling for me. I mean, I have students that have been taking classes from me since, uh, I don't even speak English, and they're still coming every week to my classes because they appreciate my work,
Mm-hmm.
most likely, I guess. But also they feel that love that I give them, and they feel safe, and they feel good
Mm-hmm.
with the little bubble and family that I've created. And this makes me feel happy that I'm bringing balance to their life
Yeah,
in some ways.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a responsibility, isn't it? But it's something that you take away that you can say, okay, well, as a result of my class, they're feeling a certain way, and they're going to come back another week, and we'll do that again and feel good again. So, yeah, no, that's great. So that's fantastic, right? And we obviously love that, but we know, well, I'm assuming and I'm guessing that you teach well, but it cannot be all. My question is really, what challenges have you faced around being a Kizomba teacher? That's really what I'm trying to ask. So there must be challenges that you kind of go through. Yeah.
That's a bit of a broad question.
Okay.
There are the challenges that you face because of the professional environment, like
Mm-hmm.
the environment, but also personal challenges that you face, and you still have to be there. Um, like all of us, we're human beings. We
Yeah.
have things going on. We have emotions. We have things that happen to us, and it was a challenge for me in these moments to still show up to classes every week and make people feel good about themselves when I didn't feel good about myself,
Yes. Yes.
And this is a big, this is love, when you are not doing well and you are struggling, but instead of putting it onto people, you're giving them love to make sure they feel good. And this is also unhealthy because I need to remember sometimes that I am also important, that
Mm-hmm.
I need to look after myself, and sometimes I need to come first. So this is a big challenge for me.
Yeah.
Very big challenge. And of course, there are the challenges in the professional environment, which is the dance scene, like, for example, are the classes going on in the same day?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe people trying to criticize you, people not supporting you, lack of commitment, maybe people that are not actually realizing all the work you're giving them, all the love you're giving them, not really, not really grateful, not really there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fine line because I know that people don't owe, or like students don't owe teachers anything. They're not forced to come to classes. They're not forced to this and that. But this is the challenges for us as teachers, unfortunately. Although that we don't want to put pressure on students.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I have to be here every week for them
Mm-hmm.
because I committed to
Mm-hmm.
them. I'm here every week for them because some of them need us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for their mental health,
Mm-hmm.
for many reasons, and we are happy to do that because again, we love our students.
Yeah.
But that means that sometimes we pay from our own pocket for the studio. We don't get paid because there is few students. Maybe we don't see our family because of that. We sacrifice a lot. I mean, the list can be very big, but we sacrifice a lot, and sometimes for sure we don't feel this back from the students. Not that it's their fault, but it's just part of the of the job, I guess. Yeah, one of the challenges for me from like within, like they say, the professional colleagues, whether it's organizers, teachers, and DJs and so on, is maybe the lack of togetherness, for me, because I feel like I'm someone that, although I'm more like an introvert, I like to be in like a tribe. I'm the kind of person I like to be surrounded, and for people to let me be how I am. And I feel like because of all these maybe competitiveness,
Yes.
yeah, and lack of togetherness, I have to kind of go out of my own way, like be different to be able to fit in, and this is a struggle for me sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so you're wanting, I guess, a bit more togetherness from the community. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? It would be nicer to
Yeah, yeah,
have.
yeah. I don't
Okay.
like when people that are really nice to you, they come to say hello to you and they're all friendly, smiley and everything, and then the week after you see them doing a party or something on the same day as you, and it's not personal, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At least I hope so. But for me, I'm like, okay, um I'm thinking, why is there a demand? Maybe, I mean, people are free to do whatever they want and everything, but sometimes I do feel like it's not really considerate. That's what I mean. So I'm not like, I respect everybody, and to be honest, I think that in the UK and especially in London, we have such amazing teachers, such amazing artists. I cannot. I mean, I've traveled around the world. There is very few places that have such amazing artists as we have in London, in the same city.
Right.
And we need to be honest about this.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm creating something for my people.
Yeah.
Not to put people against or in a position of they would have to make a choice or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I would rather not do anything than do something on the same day as you. Classes is actually, let me take this back, it's not really having a big impact. But like, for example, parties, yes. Because the dance community of London is small. London's dynamics are also very different. People in London, most people I know in London have 2 jobs at least. People don't have time to go everywhere. People don't have the money. People don't have 2 jobs because they need the money. London is a very expensive city to live in. So I feel like we're putting pressure on people, on our own people. And it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. So more togetherness is what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
That answer. And I hope that can spread. Hope that can spread more out, because obviously we need that, and we need to stick together, because this is an amazing dance. We need to just enjoy it as much as we can.
I mean, people are free to do everything they want, and I respect everyone so much, to be honest, because it takes a lot of work to do any kind of event.
Yes.
It takes a lot of work, and I want to go to those parties as well.
Exactly.
Me too. I want to go.
Yeah.
So I want to contribute to my community. I want to support them. I want to be there as well.
Yeah.
So I want to be feeling comfortable doing that.
No, totally get that. And let's spread that love and that joy, guys and girls. Yeah. Okay, great. So I am also wanting to ask you about because you mentioned you've danced in a number of places. So you danced internationally. All right. So what are some of the highlights in your dancing career? So places you've been, people you've danced with, all those kind of things, would you say?
For me, everybody I dance with feels like, although like there are a lot of people I dance with that I don't remember having danced with them because I dance with so many people and I don't have that much space in my brain, unfortunately.
Okay.
But every time I danced, I felt grateful. I felt grateful because I could see the happiness and the joy of people dancing with me, and I felt so grateful to make them feel this way.
For that way. Okay.
In terms of places, I think my favorite place was definitely Brisbane in Australia.
Australia.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there are countries that I have traveled to that probably I would not have if I wasn't given the opportunity, like if I just went on holiday. But I would mention Australia because it's like all the stars were aligned.
Okay.
People were nice. People were interested. They were focused. They were present with their energy. They were really there. And this for me made a big difference. The organizers were so lovely, so respectful, so nice. The event, the whole energy around the event was positive and nice. Everything. I mean, there was nothing negative that I could have mentioned about the event. Literally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What event was it? You can say if you want to.
Yes, so it's a festival in Brisbane. It's organized by Kiss Connect, actually, in April, I think, this year, May or April. I forgot the exact date of it. If you're in Australia, go there.
Okay.
But yeah, they were really lovely, and for me, they also there was no pressure, like sometimes the organizers you see that they're like, come on, go to the lineup, go do this, go do that, and I really felt that flow of energy where they like respect me for who I am and they understand me. They got me, you know, and this for me made me feel so good, and it actually I didn't feel drained. Like I didn't walk away from the event thinking, gosh, I had to wear a mask this weekend. It didn't feel that way. So like it's not that wearing a mask is, I don't know if it's the right term, but
I know what you
I
mean.
have to perform.
Yes.
A lot of the times, and this I really felt like I could be me there.
Let your guard down and just be natural.
Be me, yeah.
Okay, great. So, Brisbane, Australia. It's like a crazy flight away, but
yeah,
all over the
But Ellie and Dylan are very good people, so it's worth it. In my opinion.
Yeah. Another one from my bucket list, I guess. Okay.
Yes, right. It's totally worth it in my opinion.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So, what about then anything so you've been teaching for about 7 years now, you say, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. In that time, can you share with us, only if you want to, any kind of embarrassing moments that have happened to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's hear it. Just one.
You know how brain works, right? Sometimes traumatic stuff, your brain is like, let's forget about that one.
Okay.
Kidding. But no, there was this time that I felt bad. I mean, yeah, I felt bad. So I was in my school in Tooting, in London.
Tooting in London, yep.
Throwback. So we were. I think I had been teaching that group for 2 years at that time, maybe a bit more. And so we're starting the class. It was like intermediate, advanced level, whatever. We're starting the class. We review the week before, the steps of the week before, and then we go with the music. And before moving on. And I'm watching them, and I'm thinking, c'est pas possible. C'est pas possible. So I stop the music, and I'm like, guys, this is not good. And then I think, let me shock them. And I mean, I felt bad about this. Afterwards, but it kind of worked anyway.
Okay.
So now I said to them, like, guys, some of you not to say most of you, have been taking classes from me since I don't speak English, since I only speak French. I have learned this whole new language, and you guys still can't do Lady Saida.
And what did they say? What happened after that?
I said that. Yeah. And they were like, jaws dropping. They were shocked. I said that. You know, like that moment where you feel the energy dropping.
Yes.
You feel like, I think I said something wrong here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's something you wish you had taken back and not.
Yeah,
said,
I think, I mean, I would never say that now.
Yeah.
But I'm French, you know. So I am a bit more British now after 7 years. But I was still very French then.
Yeah.
I think it was harsh.
Yeah.
Although it was true. That's facts, actually. It was true. To be honest, it was
true.
facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was maybe a bit harsh, yeah.
So then what happened?
That's been haunting me.
A bit. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you what happened after that. Did the Saidas improve?
Yes. Like within 5 minutes, they were like, right. Because I had I mean, to be honest, I had a point.
Yeah.
It was, as I said, it was true.
Yeah.
Although harsh, it was still true.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they did very well after that.
Okay.
Cool. They did very well.
Yeah.
I must say.
Okay, cool. Embarrassing, but on the other flip side, it worked out, like you said.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were there on that class, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, that's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Well, anyway.
You're welcome.
So I come along to your class. You know, what am I going to get from your class, Manon? You know, what am I going to walk away with? Maybe if I'm new, you know, in other words, what's the essence of your teaching style?
Trauma.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Trauma. No.
Trauma?
I think, I hope that this is what you will get away with is inspiration. Yeah, inspiration. I try to be an example for people, and also for women, because as a female, you know, I teach alone, and I'm young. You know, I can teach a class. I have my own school. I now run Diversal, my monthly party. This can seem like, oh yeah, this again. But actually in the dance scene, there are not many women that have achieved that. In the Kizomba dance scene. Not many women have achieved that. And I haven't achieved that to prove a point. It just happened somehow. I prefer to teach with someone, actually. But I just really want to and hope to be inspiring people that they can do it.
Yeah.
You know? And if I can dance like this, so can you, even maybe better, you know? Because the way I dance now, it took me years to get to that level, and I didn't have a female teacher, actually. So yeah, I just want to inspire people. Now, in terms of my class content, I really focus on music, connection, and technique. Technique for me is important. I always say in my classes, steps are just a tool. There's just a tool to give you technique. So I'm just gonna use certain movement for you to practice certain specific technique. That's it. Of course, you need steps to dance in the social, but the goal is not the step.
Yeah.
The goal is the technique, because if you have the step, that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to dance with anybody in the social, because you need to be able to give indication to anybody. If tomorrow you go to Brisbane, that festival in Australia, for example, people there need to be able to lead or follow you. You know, and the only way to be able to do that is through technique.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and great, and again, great advice there. So that's great. So inspiration, yeah, that's what you're saying, that you want people to come away with feeling like they've learned something or they're inspired, and you know they want to come back, and that's exactly what we want, right? So thank you again for inspiring us. Okay.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you then about, you know, if we go a little bit deeper then, your performances, okay? So like I mentioned before, Google Manon on YouTube, see some amazing dancing. So it's really around choosing a partner. So you've had some great partners in the past, right? And I'm just curious around the process that goes into that. So, I guess you could choose a number of different people that you want to dance with. But in the past, when you had some great partners there, how do you choose that particular individual? Is there something that you do, or is it just you've met them and it's a connection? And it's like, okay, we're going to be great dancers. How does that kind of work?
That's a tough one.
Is it? Okay. All right. Well, okay, we can change the question then.
No, I would like to answer that
Yeah.
because it's a good question. It's a tough question, but it's a good question. My first partner, I didn't choose him. He chose me.
Okay.
And again, the thing is, then it's like I wasn't planning on becoming a teacher, so it kind of happened. But I thought I would just spend a few months in the UK and then go back. So it's not like it wasn't planned.
Yes.
At all. It just happened, but it just wasn't. Yeah. Although I'm grateful for that experience, to be honest, really grateful because that's how I got to this point on this seat today, right? Okay. I think, to be honest, I like to think that connection is a red flag, in my opinion. Connection is a red flag. If you want to choose a partner just because you connected with them, in my opinion, that is not really going to work, because I found that the most beautiful connections that I had in terms of my dancing was through work. Because if someone comes from, like, if you have these two individuals, yeah, and one has a certain way of feeling the music and expressing themselves, and you have a different one, you multiply that when you come together and you grow. If you connect with someone that has the same way of feeling the music and the dance than you, you're only gonna go so far. And for me, that's been very important, because that's been my way of growing as a dancer, is to work with people that are very different than me, so that I would open to another world and maybe hopefully open them to another world as well. And this is because I'm inspiring to grow as a dancer. Before being a teacher, I'm a dancer, and then I must never lose that passion for what I do. So this is my rule to choose the right partner.
That's a great way of explaining things. Never heard of that before. So you said connection is a red flag.
Yes.
Which is really interesting. Yeah. And just thinking about the fact that if two people are the same, they've got the same energy, and that's great because they can still dance well. But the fact is, we're talking about growth, right? And wanting to get to somewhere to elevate yourself. So I've never heard that before. So it's really interesting to hear.
Yes, I do. And maybe this is why my life keeps changing so much and crazy also in all aspects. I just think that in general, I'm aspiring, I'm looking forward in my life. I'm trying not to look back, and I'm thinking, what do I want? What direction do I want to take? And again, like I mentioned this earlier, I get inspired from everybody.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what kind of dance, because as long as they have the passion, you can see that from people. And if I see someone is passionate about what they do, for me, that's inspiring, when I see that. And I don't want to dance like I danced 3 years ago, In 3 years from now, I want to look at the way I dance today and think, wow, I've really improved.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
And you cannot improve in the same bubble. You have to get out of that bubble to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thinking.
Great thinking. Great. Okay, good. I'm learning a lot here. Okay. This is a random question. So we're talking about partners, right? So just a question I'm just curious about. So when you're doing classes, how in advance do you plan the routines? Is it like, in the partners you've had before, is it like, okay, right, we're doing this next week, let's work on it a week earlier, 2 days before, or is it on the day you say, right, let's grab an hour, we're doing this tonight? How does that come about for the routine or for a class?
I have a very particular way of preparing my classes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It really depends, to be honest. It depends of the kind of week I've had.
Okay. Well, this is what we're trying to find out.
So if I've had a crazy hectic week or things happen, life, I will do it on the day.
Yeah.
But I really like to, again, I get inspired by everybody, and I look at little details when people dance. I look at details. So my classes are prepared depending on, so it's a combination of my students' levels and need.
Yes.
What do they need and what I want to do. So it's a combination of what I want to do and what they need. So from that, I will start thinking of what combination we did before, what combination that they did before that we can continue with. And also, I look at other teachers, what they do, different combinations for creativity, and try to, play Lego a little bit.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes I would do that a week before, 2 weeks before, create a program depending on the class I have, or sometimes on the day. It's really random, to be honest. It can be really random.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just curious as to how some teachers kind of prepare for those kind of things.
I know some colleagues that don't prepare. They literally come on class and they're like, whatever, we do this. I cannot do this because I have a goal for you guys. Like I'm like during the class, I want to be judging you. I want to be able to look at you and think, no, you need to do it like this, you need to do it like that, da, 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 da. I don't want to start thinking, all right, what am I going to do next? I want my focus to be on my students.
Yeah.
And I'm not like overthinking about my classes beforehand, but it needs to be sorted. Like by the time I'm starting my class, I need to know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. No, thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so we're talking about, partners, combinations, and all that, preparing for classes. Moves. So are there any kind of, moves or steps that you like to lead in particular, or not really? Is there anything that you kind of like? Yeah, I like that.
I'm moody.
Moody.
I'm moody.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Okay.
It honestly depends. There are moves I'm tired of doing for sure.
Yeah.
Like, Lady Saida, opening, basic opening, basic turn. Like, these are stuff that, because I've repeated it so much, I'm like, oh, here we go again. But it's the process. That's how it is. But in terms of moves that I actually like to do, I'm very moody because it depends of the music. It depends of the dance I have. It depends. There are so many different criteria. And I have phases as well. Like, I've been through loads of phases as well. Like, there are some periods where, I would listen to a lot of like ghetto zouk for whatever reason, some period like proper samba, some period rumba, actually, some period like, it really depends of my emotion, my way of feeling, and the way I dance also changed because of that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're dependent on your mood.
Yeah, I think, because music makes you feel a certain way, you know.
Yeah.
And you dance onto the music, but dance is an expression, you're expressing your emotion, you're expressing the music.
Yes.
How the music makes you feel. So for me, it's natural.
Yeah.
For it to be like that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you then. So let's talk about festivals then. So you performed at many different festivals, you've traveled different places. You mentioned Australia. Is there any other festival that you really like going to? Or ones that stand out for you?
I like, as in like a specific place. No, I mean, I enjoy everywhere I go.
Okay.
I think for me, what really makes me have a good time in a festival would be the dancers and the DJs. Doesn't matter who is there, whether you beginner, advanced, a student, a teacher, what it doesn't matter to me. But it depends of the energy you're gonna give me, like the overall energy. There are some events that I have been to in the past, and I thought to myself, wow, I really didn't have a good time. But some of them, I thought, wow, that was awesome. And in my opinion, the smaller the festival, like the smaller the event, the better.
I've heard that
Because
before.
I feel like I can really be present with the people, share actual nice moment with them. I feel like when I'm in an event with a lot of people, I will enjoy if the overall energy is good and I see friends and colleagues and everyone that I'm most of the time I'm happy anyway. But it's just not the same feeling because I don't have time to really process what's going on when it's very busy. I don't have time to really like have a nice conversation with people because I have so many other people to dance with and everything. I have to dance with people. So it's not the same pace.
Yeah. Okay.
So but I mean, that happened very few times that I thought I'm not enjoying myself. Thankfully, it happened before, but very few times. Most of the time I really enjoy myself.
And that's
to be
great.
honest, yeah.
It's the passion for the dance, isn't it?
There are places that marked me, like as I mentioned, Brisbane, but I enjoy in general. To be honest,
and that's great. We want to hear that.
Yeah.
So, but with that, then another question just came to mind. So, have you ever been out before, and you literally just don't stop dancing because people are pulling you? So then you sit down. Then next person. Does that happen to you or happened to you in the past a lot?
Yeah, it's funny actually, because there are some events that this happen, and some events where I'm like,
okay, the opposite.
Hi.
All right, okay.
Anyone wants to
That's
dance?
interesting.
Like, yeah. So, like I was in Zungeras actually in Lisbon 3 weeks ago now, or maybe 1 month ago now, a few weeks ago, and I'm literally like I'm on the dance floor. I'm finishing my dance, and I see two hands like this.
Yes.
I'm on like I don't even have time to say thank you, goodbye, walk out. They're there. And I literally found myself, I think was Saturday night. Yeah, I believe it was Saturday night. And as I was dancing, I was like, I literally crossed the whole room. Like I went through everybody on the way, and I thought, okay, that was But when the music is good and the dance is good and the energy is good, you don't really notice it. You just think, oh wow, it's already finished. Like the last song, whatever. Yeah, I think as long as you have a good time, it's okay. But there are some events where, people don't do this, and I think this is for different reasons. But I do feel like some events have maybe the wrong dynamics where, unless they know you or whatever, they won't invite you. Like for example, when I was teaching sometimes in Urban Kids events, most like dancers or whatever, they don't know me because I don't hang out in Urban Kids events, so I'm not a face they're used to seeing. And then I'm not an Urban Kids teacher, so even less, right? So I don't know. And then because I'm not good at Urban Kids as well, I mean, it's like so bad for me. They like, they're not keen dancing with me. Yeah.
On that scene, well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's another topic for another day. Urban Kids, I think. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm here to dance, so like, I don't care, just invite me. But that's why I just end up inviting people, and then when I invite people, this is another thing as well. Like then they say no.
Okay. Somebody says no to you. Said no to you when you asked them to dance. Yeah.
Usually, it's more women that say no to me than men.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There was an event last summer. I think 5 followers in a row said no. And I was like, right.
Hold on. Let's rewind. Hold on a second. So you asked 5 different people to dance and all of them said no? Yes.
But then I realized that, okay, Kizomba people, I don't think we have this. At least I've never really seen that. But Urban Kids people that have this, they have this queue of people waiting to dance with one teacher. So afterwards, I realized that they were in a queue and they were waiting to dance with somebody, like one teacher. And of course, if they said yes to me, they would lose their spot in the queue.
I see. Okay.
So then they said no, and I was like, okay, nice.
Okay. Okay. Different. Different. different, right? It's just different.
different bubble, you
It's
know.
fine. Yeah,
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. But at first I was like,
Yeah,
not nice.
Yeah, it would feel strange.
Yeah. So
So,
less like that.
how often do you listen to Kizomba? Where do you listen to Kizomba? Is it everywhere? Is it every day? Bus stop, train stop, driving? Where do you listen?
It's random.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time in public transports, to be honest. I listen to music at home, but when I'm in like recharging time, I don't listen to Kizomba or Semba, no. So when I'm actually at home, like having me time, I will listen to a lot of random music.
Okay. Yeah.
To be honest, a lot of different kind of music, just because I need that, separation.
Yes.
However, I will have times where I'm like in like hunt mode and I'm just really looking at music and stuff. It is my passion, but I think too much of it will kill it, So I'm trying to stay balanced and also like stay grounded to life, Not everything is about Kizomba in life. So there needs to be balance.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, if I'm on my way, for example, when I'm on my way to class, definitely when I'm on my way to festivals and just to put myself in the mood and yeah, put myself in that zone where, I don't know, warm up,
Yeah, well, you say warm up. I asked some other teachers, do you just randomly start dancing on the street sometimes? People look at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like when I'm on my way to class,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, what did I plan again?
Yeah.
And I'm like doing, and then I get off the tube, and I'm like, let me do a quick step. Yeah,
exactly. Why not?
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, it does happen. Yeah.
That's
But
good.
I try to be like, discreet.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well,
Yeah.
let it out, I'd say.
I think if you're a dancer and you don't do this, there's a problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
All right. So, how has this amazing dance then impacted you and your life?
Oof. I know it's not good to say. Well, as I said, I'm not the kind of person that would be like, woohoo, hi, like saying hello to everybody and stuff. So I think it taught me to be able to do that when necessary. I can be really friendly and everything with people that I know and I appreciate and I feel comfortable with, but that's not my nature. So definitely that I learned about this. Tolerance, adaptability, gratefulness. And I think it's also given me so many opportunities. I met so many good people. I've been to so many amazing places. I've seen like how I impacted people's life as well, and that made me feel good about myself as well, that I could impact people positively. And sorry for the ones I impacted negatively. Hopefully not many
Ups
of you
and downs,
there. Yeah, it happens,
It happens.
But in general, it's been extremely positive. I think this is an experience that I never expected, never was prepared for. And this is what makes it beautiful, in my opinion, because it just came naturally, So, yeah.
Whoever that person was that said to you, you should be a dance teacher, we need to find them. We need to find out.
I mean, funny enough, I brought my dance teacher for a workshop in September to London. So he taught at... actually, I was supposed to teach at Diva, so I didn't. But he taught the next day a workshop of, I think, 3 or 4 hours, I can't remember. His speech when he started the workshop was, such a pleasure to be here. I never expected Manon to become a teacher. But he said it in a way like, I never thought she would become anything.
Yeah.
It was a bit like offensive, but in the same time, I guess it's a good surprise because I didn't either. So, because I never expressed, and he said it actually, I never expressed any will or any hint, any behavior, anything in my behavior that would make anybody think that this was something I was inspired, because I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it really happened unexpectedly.
Sometimes
Yeah.
life works that way, and
Yeah,
we're happy it happened. So thank you very much, Manon.
you're welcome.
Absolutely. All right. I want to ask you then about your event. Now, please let it's Diversal, right? Am I
Diversal.
Diversal?
Diversal, yeah.
Okay, excellent. So, without a doubt, one of the best monthly parties in London. So, you haven't checked it out, you need to check that out. So, I just want to ask you about that then. So, first of all, what does it mean? Yeah, and then how? So, what does the name mean? And then how did that evolve?
So Diversal means fun.
Hmm.
Um, and for me, that was a big step to create this party. But I had this vision. The thing is, I opened my school, London Kizomba School, and I tried to create a dynamic in my classes that were mine.
Hmm.
That was at the image of my energy, of my way of seeing things, and I wanted people to feel like safe in a family, where people could, come to class and be friendly with everybody, where they could be themselves and really feel safe. If we use this word safety
Hmm.
in many ways, different meanings. So at the time, there wasn't a lot of like actual parties in London. There was very few. And also, I wanted to offer something at that image for my students to go and practice, go and dance after class, right? So yeah, we back then I was with Rico. We tried to look for venues and everything. We found one, and it took a lot of organization and logistic and everything. But we were grateful that we were able to provide this for the London community,
Hmm.
because I think it was much needed to have somewhere where, people could just come and dance. That's it.
Mm.
Come and dance. There is no cliquey, no whatever, no bad energy, no
Hmm.
bad behavior, no arguments, no drunk people around, no,
Hmm.
just a nice energy all around, nice music. Also, I really wanted to have a place where I could, you know, provide for colleagues, you know. I wanted to have places where DJs could play, where teachers could come also. I have colleagues that feel the same way as me, and that want to have quality dance and quality places for people
Hmm.
to dance to. So I really wanted to give that space for people to dance.
Yeah, I think you've achieved it, and I think this goes back to what you
Mm.
were saying as well about the community getting together, because you were talking about giving a space for DJs and teachers. So again, the more that we can work together and provide those kind of experiences, the better it is for this dance, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, you're providing a amazing service for us.
Thanks. I mean, if some of you have seen me in Diversal, you see how I'm running up and down the whole night and everything. I just really want people to walk away from there thinking I
Yep.
had a great night, you know?
And she always says yes if you ask her to dance and stop her.
Yes.
So even with all the running around, so it's all good.
I try my best.
Yeah. So you 2 years has that been running?
Yes, now
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah, we've just celebrated 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't, it seems like it's been going forever. But anyway, yeah. So you've only just celebrated 2 years, so
2 years
fantastic.
is a pretty good
Pretty long
amount of
time.
time. I
No, no,
mean,
no.
to
It
be
just
honest,
seems
I'm
that yeah,
grateful that it's been running for that long, and
yeah,
I just truly hope that it keeps running,
yeah,
because you know, I'm happy we're having a party like this
yeah,
in London. It's I feel like, peaceful
yeah,
when I'm there. Although
yeah.
I'm running everywhere, I feel
Mm,
I feel good to be
yeah,
able to provide this kind of nights
yeah.
to my people.
It's a great night. It's a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, so wanted to ask you then for some of your advice as a teacher. All right, because I'm guessing there's some people that might be listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, and they are going to want to delve into that space? I know you came into it unexpectedly, but some people might be thinking, okay, well, you know what? I've seen Manon dance, and I've seen other people dance, and I want to become a teacher. This is something I want to pursue. So if somebody's thinking that, I always try to ask people or teachers, what advice would you give to those people? I mean, we've talked about some of the challenges as well, but anything that you can say to them.
So considering my experience, but also what I could see, I would say make sure that your dance is high level before you throw yourself into this. That's the first thing. Make sure. I mean, I was dancing Kizomba for 6 years when I started to learn how to teach, and I'm still learning. That tells you a lot. I'm still learning. Of course, I'm willing to learn, but there is still so much that I don't know about. After this many years. So I think, yeah, that's one thing. Make sure you teach for the right reasons. That's another thing. Ask yourself why you want to teach. Be honest with yourself. That is very important, because I see a lot of people that want to become teacher for the fame, or that won't get you anywhere. And make sure you're there for the right reasons. And then another thing, don't do it alone. You need a mentor. You need someone to guide you, to help you, to advise you. Someone experienced with truly good intention that truly wants to support you. Actual real mentor. Someone that believes in you. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay,
These are my advices, probably.
Thank you. So some great advice for those people. All right. And then following on from this, just one more question. Sure. This is a little interesting question.
Ooh.
Okay, so because Kizomba, well, all dances, all couple dances, you have a leader and a follower, right? So the question is, well, can you provide, one piece of advice for leaders and one piece of advice for followers?
Like as in within their dance, or just for them?
Just for them. So if somebody's just, anything that can help people lead better or follow better, just maybe one piece of advice.
One piece of advice is a bit tight, huh? Pressure. For the leaders, I would say connect with your partner. She is the she or he, the follower is a priority. And connect with the music. Music, please. Music. For the followers, I would say technique. Focus on the technique, on the music, but on yourself. I see too many followers just focusing on following. If followers just focus on following, they will never become a dancer. I have come to the realization over the years that I became a good dancer because I dance so much on my own. I'm able to interpret and dance alone.
Okay.
And when you're able to do this and have the technique and not falling over, have good balance and understanding music, dancing on the music, expressing yourself onto the music, then you're able to connect with your partner, and he's able to connect with you. So we give each other space to dance. There's not just I lead, you follow, is I lead, you follow, and we dance together. So that is very important, because followers don't improve as much because of this. They are limited by the skills of the leaders they're dancing with. And this is how nobody grows.
What can I say? Great advice. I'll just leave that there.
I hope so.
To sink in. Okay. All right. Last question for you then, Manon. Well, kind of the last question. But what advice would you give to somebody who's watching Kizomba, okay, or looking at Kizomba, maybe seeing some YouTube videos, but they're not quite sure Maybe not Sarah Lopez, but whatever.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Whatever, but they've delved into it, they looked at it, but they're not sure. What would you say to them to convince them to just try it?
I don't think trying to convince someone is a good idea. I would say dance alone. Dance alone. Because it has to grow from within.
Mhm.
You cannot expect people to this only leads to deception in your dance, just make sure you discover what you like, listen to a lot of different kind of music, find what you like, what lights you up in terms of music. My taste, not necessarily your taste in music or whatever, so yeah, dance alone, and grow from there.
So I guess they've got to feel it and make sure that they want to do it, basically.
Yes. Yes. I think so. That's for me. That's what. From my experience, that's what works the best.
Yeah.
And in fact, in so many schools that I have visited before, and also like in France, this is how it used to be. I'm not sure about now. I haven't been in school there for many years, but beginner classes, beginner students stay in the beginner class for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first 6 months, they dance alone. They just do footwork. They just literally do footwork.
Did you just say they stay in the beginner classes for a year? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. And sometimes more if they didn't improve.
Yeah.
So the teacher will, at the end of the year, so it's like a school year starts in September and finishes in July or end of June. And so people pay for the whole year. That's how it works everywhere in the world apart from the UK, never mind. But people pay for the whole year or 6 months, And at the end of the year, the teacher says if yes or no, they have the right level individually to move up.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Or it used to be.
Yeah. That's really great because it's getting the grounding right, isn't it? Before you think you can move up, and just getting that basic stuff done properly before, yes, I can release you.
I wouldn't say it's like basic, it's foundation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Foundation.
You need to make sure your house is strong before finishing building it,
100%. Yeah.
It cannot be wonky. If it's a wonky house, it's never gonna be a house that will grow, that will last for a long time. Yeah. You will have to eventually go back to foundation and strengthen it.
Yeah.
To make it strong. So
something we talk about a lot of the time. So fantastic.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
No, yeah, a lot of work, but
people think it's easy and that's it. I know how to do ladies side. It's not.
No, it's a lot of work, and it's good work to practice as well. So
for sure.
Manon, thank you so much. Okay, I want to say thank you for coming on. It's been great. It's been great to have you here, hear about you, learn a bit about your journey, and obviously talk about your Kizomba dancing. Your experience as a teacher, and obviously giving some advice to people as well who are wanting to do that. But before we let you go, I did say to you earlier that we have a little game here. Yeah. So we've got some Kizomba Conversations playing cards here. And all I'd like you to do, so there's 4. I want you to pick 3, one at a time.
3?
3, yes.
Like, are we doing a tarot card here or something?
No tarot. But no, one at a time. So
one at a time.
Yeah. So you pick one card.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So pick one, any one you like. And then you read that question to us, please.
Oh. Okay. Apart from the COVID-19 period, what's the longest amount of time you have gone without dancing Kizomba? Who said I didn't dance during COVID?
Well, I didn't even want to go there, but
I did. Alone most of the time, but I did. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you can dance alone. Just put your earphones on, you dance, that's it, you know. I would say 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, probably, yeah. Kizomba is everywhere, so you can't really run away from it, unfortunately or
Exactly.
fortunately.
Yeah. No. Cool.
But yeah.
2 weeks. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Longest time with that dancing Kizomba. All right. Excellent. So, and next one. Okay.
In your opinion, who do you think makes a better leader, man or woman? To be honest, it's there's no answer here, I think.
Okay.
Because I have had men that were awful leaders. I have had women that were awful leaders, and vice versa. So, I mean, I think leaders become better leaders when they know how to follow, and followers become better followers when they learn how to lead.
Did everybody just hear that?
Yeah.
World's pearls of wisdom here. Okay.
Yeah. That's what's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll take that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ooh, the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof, that's a long one. Is there a Kizomba festival on your list that you have not yet attended? Share which one is and why you want to go there. There are many events that I have not attended yet, for sure. Is there one I'm raving about? Not really. Sorry to say. Interesting. I'm not someone, I don't think like this.
I was going to say, sorry, but because even though before you answered the question, you say you just have fun wherever you go, right? So that comes back to this question.
Yeah,
really.
I appreciate every opportunities I get in life, and I'm just happy teaching anywhere. You know, there is no events that I'm thinking, oh gosh, I wish I was there, because if they feel like my energy and my teaching and my work is good for the event, they will reach out to me.
Yeah.
I cannot crave for someone to come and pick me.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that way.
Sure. Okay.
Interesting question.
You know, good. But you love going everywhere. So the last one is for me to answer. So the one you avoided. Oh my God. All right. So it says, if you were hosting a Kizomba fancy dress party for friends, what would the theme be? Yeah.
Give me ideas. Go on.
So
you're the one who did this question.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
and I get that one.
Surely something's prepared.
Exactly. So fancy dress. I think it would be I think it would be the 1970s. Okay? And the reason for that is so that I could have an afro and have some hair. So I would put like a big fat afro on, get the flares, get the shoes, and just reclaim my hair back. So yeah, everybody comes in their tight clothes and whatever. So 1970s Kizomba party. Imagine that.
Imagine the sweat out of this, though. Right? Imagine
exactly.
Imagine being in Diversal with everyone's
something you could think about.
Cushiony hair like this. Interesting.
Crazy. But we should do that more, actually. Themed parties. But anyway, that's a whole different thing.
So, two fun facts regarding this. So if you go to some, like, mainly like SB, I used to do that a lot, and I had so much fun at those events. Like, if you go to like SBK events, you can go for it. Your dream will be fulfilled. If you go to those like SBK events that have been running for many years, like the ones like for 10, 15 years, they have mainly like all the crowd, like maybe in their 60s or something like that. But man, the fancy dress they do, they pull out it's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, they know, they've been coming here for 10 years. They know what's going to happen. Yeah. They know what's going on. They have like choreographies prepared. Everyone is proper dressed, like awesome. Like this is Awesome,
it's
amazing.
fun. It's all fun, right? It's all
Yeah,
part of the fun.
there was second thing there was this event that I went to actually right after the end of COVID in 2020 in France.
Mhm.
And my friend and I, we bought T-Rex costume, the inflatable ones.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it.
Did that?
Mhm.
Fun?
There was no fancy dress team. We just decided that was it, and we took it. Everyone was dressed normally, and we came in as T-Rex. Yeah. So
Lovely.
just make it happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
why would you wait? You know, why would you
Okay,
wait?
we'll talk about it.
You
We'll
can.
talk about it.
I don't know.
We'll
Be
see
yourself.
see what happens one of your events. Okay. But listen, Manon, thank you so much. Thank you
You're
so much
welcome.
for
Thank you.
joining us. It's been a pleasure. Please tell us where we can reach you, your socials, what you're doing. Just tell us everything, please.
Good luck witching me.
Okay.
To be honest, Instagram and WhatsApp is the best. Messenger, I am not a lot on Facebook, to be fair, not a lot. And Messenger, I check it maybe every 2-3 days, briefly. So I would say yes, Instagram, and
So your name,
WhatsApp.
handle on Instagram, what do you be?
Manon, Manon, the dancer.
Okay, cool.
That's where you find me. Yeah, that's the easiest way. Or call me. That's it.
Well, thank you very much. Okay. And again, listen,
Thank you so much for having me.
No. Thank you for coming here. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, and it's been great to learn from you and to have you on the show. Okay.
Pleasure was
So
mine.
fantastic. So everyone, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. We've had a blast again, but we just want to say, make sure we keep spreading the joy of Kizomba to as many people as we can reach. And we are signing out now. So as I always say, keep dancing.